How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to another Flesh and Blood video. Today, we have more Monarch cards to talk about. We have a lot of Monarch cards to talk about. Maybe 30 or 40 Monarch cards, and I'm really excited. There's some really sweet stuff in here. So we're going to cut out a lot of the preamble here. We're going to get right to the cards. Though, if you do want to support me, maybe consider check out my, my Patreon and a lot of the affiliate links in the description down below. There's some various excellent folks to buy Flesh and Blood from. But without further ado, let's get started. We have Raiden here, Raiden Duskbane, and I do want to mention before we get really deep into these that I want to give a shout out to all the people who are huge supporters of Flesh and Blood and who were part of like the spoiler season here. You should definitely go check out their spoilers on the Flesh and Blood website, fabtcg.com. But without further ado, let's get into this for realsies. So we have Raiden Duskbane, a really cool looking light warrior weapon. This is a two-handed majestic sword. It says once per turn action for a cost of 0 to attack. That seems pretty good, but wait, it only has 0 attack. Suspicious. Well, it says if you've charged this turn, Raiden gains +3 attack. And that's like, not bad, right? That's not bad. So like, the best case scenario is a 0 cost, 3 attack, two-handed weapon. That's all right. Is that better than Dawnblade? I mean, maybe in some situations, if you're going to want to be like really lean, playing kind of like a redline deck. It's kind of actually reminds me of like a redliner version of Dawnblade, right? So you don't get like the cool effect, but if you've met the condition, then it attacks for 3, just like Dawnblade does. But Dawnblade also, can get pumped up and all that kind of stuff. So you must be asking yourself then, how good is this card? I think it can be okay. Keep in mind that Bolton, the card that this is kind of like made for, right? This is Bolton's signature weapon in the lore. He can give his attacks go again if he gets rid of a card from his soul. If he banishes a card from his soul, he can give his attacks go again if they've also been altered in power, basically. So if this is gained power, which it would, Raiden gains +3, then it could go again from Bolton's special ability. So, it really synergizes with Bolton, but, I mean, I don't know. I think it can be pretty good. I'm not sure exactly how good. It's not, like, super obvious, right? It's not like Dawnblade, where you're like, oh, this card's great. It gets powerful if you hit more with it. But, I think it looks better than it does. I think it's better than it looks, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Looks better than it does. What does that even mean? Anyway, next up we have Bolting Blade. This card is sweet. So this is a 4 cost, 7 attack light warrior attack action with a defense of 3. This is a yellow pitch card. It says Bolting Blade costs 2 less to play for each time you've charged this turn. So keep in mind, that's each time you've charged this turn. The Raiden the Duskbane, only gets a +3 period. Not +3 each time, just if you've charged +3, whereas the Bolting Blade counts the number of times you've actually charged. And if you've charged twice, a 0 cost 7 attack is pretty good, right? That's getting up to like Enlightened Strike levels. In fact, it's even closer to the new one, the Celestial Strike or Celestial Cataclysm, whatever the new one is. That's pretty good. So this one I think is also pretty good, especially if you're doing a lot of charging. So I mean, you're going to want to be doing charging anyway because this is a light warrior attack action. So you're going to be putting this into a Bolton deck, and if you're doing that, then that's pretty good. And if you could somehow pump this up either with Bolton's special ability or through any other means, then you can give it go again, and that's going to be amazing. So I think this card's good. It also pitches for 2 and blocks for 3. It's good. You're playing Bolton, put this in your deck. Next up we have Beacon of Victory. This one's a little bit more interesting, right? So this is a 0 cost light warrior attack reaction with 3 defense. It's also another yellow pitch card. We're seeing a lot of yellow pitch cards from light warrior, so I guess it means they're going to be a little bit more resource plentiful, I guess you could say. And it says, as an additional cost to play Beacon of Victory, banish X cards from your hero soul. X cannot be 0. Target attack gains +X. If you've charged this turn, search your deck for an action card with cost X or less, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So this card wants you to do multiple things, right? It wants you to have cards in your soul, and it also wants you to charge, which, you know, charging puts cards in your soul, so they kind of like synergize there, but you can kind of separate it just a little bit. You know, if you already have cards in your soul, then you can use them to pump up, you know, an attack. Specifically any attack, so this is not just pumping up weapon attacks or attack actions. This pumps up either, which is really good. It's really, really flexible. And being able to tutor for an action with cost, you know, X or less if you've charged this turn is also quite good. I think it's good. You know, it costs 0 too. Cost 0, blocks for 3, pitches for 2. This is a really good card. It doesn't just kind of like win by itself, but you know, it's part of an engine, right? And it really synergizes with what you're doing, and I think it's going to be really good. So if you're playing Bolton, probably going to want Beacon of Victory in your deck as well. Next up, we have Valiant Thrust. This is a light warrior attack action with a 3 defense, 4 attack, 1 cost. This is a red pitch version. We do have a yellow and we do have a blue. The yellow has 3 attack and the blue has 2 attack. And it says, if you've charged this turn, Valiant Thrust gains +3. So once again, kind of synergizes with what Bolton is doing. If an attack action or an attack has changed its power, then he can banish cards from his soul to give that attack go again. So if the Valiant Thrust here gets pumped up by its own effect, then you could, you know, use Bolton's special ability to give it go again, which is really good because this would be a 7 total. So +3, it would be a 7. And a 1 cost 7 is very good. So I think this is going to be very good. We have, once again, the yellow and the blue pitch version of the card. Yeah, I think this is going to be quite good in Light Warrior. Is it going to be a staple? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I think it's that good. Next up, we have Bolt of Courage. This is a 0 cost light warrior attack action with a 3 defense, 3 attack, and this is the red pitch. We also have the yellow and the blue with a 2 attack and 1 attack respectively. It says, as an additional cost to play Bolt of Courage, you may charge your hero's soul, which means you can put a card from your hand face up underneath your hero card. If you have charged this turn, Bolt of Courage gains, if it hits, draw a card, which is sweet, right? That automatically replaces itself. It doesn't have a built-in way to pump itself up to get that go again from Bolton, but I think it's still pretty good. It kind of like replaces the card in your hand that you charge with if you're able to hit, but it also only has an attack of 3, and 3, as you can see with this own card having 3 defense, 3 is kind of easy to block against. So is this going to be great? I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to be good in constructed. For Blitz, maybe not, but for limited, I think it's going to be pretty good. For limited, I think it's going to be pretty good. It might see play in constructed too. I might be underrating it a little bit, but you know, I think it's pretty good, but not a slam dunk, not super amazing. And then we have the yellow version as well, and of course the blue version. Next up, we have Engulfing Light. This is a 0 cost, 3 attack, 3 defense, light warrior attack action. As you can see, kind of the same theme here. 0 cost, 3 attack, 3 defense. So kind of like the same stats as the Bolt of Courage. And it says, as additional cost to play Engulfing Light, you may charge your hero's soul. Once again, very, very similar to the last card. And it says, if you've charged this turn, Engulfing Light gains. If this hits, put it into your hero's soul. So this kind of lets you maybe, you know, put 2 cards into your hero's soul if you charge, and then this also hits. But once again, it's also, you know, pretty easy to block. And I mean, is putting it into your soul better than drawing a card? I mean, I don't know, man. Like maybe, but drawing a card is just good. Drawing a card is just really good, especially if you have all these cards with charge that you can use to, you know, charge anyway. And charge also synergizes with all the mechanics that care about charge. So yeah, I'm going to give this card about the same rating as Bolt of Courage. I think it could be good, but it's a little easy to defend against, so it's probably not going to see a lot of constructed play. Limited play? Yeah, sure. Constructed? Man, I don't know. Maybe, but I don't know. 0 cost is pretty good. Next up, we have the Halo of Illumination, and dude, I love the art on this card. Sam Yang always knocks it out of the park. I gotta get some signed artist prints of Sam Yang's work. They're all beautiful. So the Halo of Illumination is a light equipment headpiece with a 0 defense. It has an instant ability for 1 resource. Destroy it. Put a card from your hand into your hero's soul. Keep in mind that this does not count as charging. Charging specifically cares about the word charge. So this one, Engulfing Light says you may charge your hero's soul, even though it also puts a card, in your hero's soul, like the Halo of Illumination. The Halo of Illumination does not count as charging your hero. So just keep that in mind for cards that care about charge. If it's a light card, draw a card. That's pretty good. You're gonna put a card into your hero's soul, and then it replaces itself. If it's a light card, pretty sweet. It also has Spell Void 2, which is the same thing as Blade Break, but with arcane damage. So you can destroy this and prevent 2 arcane damage, basically. Is Halo of Illumination good? I think so, actually. I think this is actually pretty good. Is it going to see play over like really good generic or class equipment? Maybe, maybe not. I can see this seeing play. Yeah, I can see this seeing play in Classic Constructed and Blitz, for sure. I can see this being kind of like in your loadout and you being like, yeah, I'll play with the Halo of Illumination. So yeah, I think it's going to see play. Next card, we have Glsen. Okay, Glsen is a pretty hilarious card. Glsen is a light instant, doesn't have any defense at all, costs 2. This is the red pitch version. There's also a yellow and a blue pitch version. And it says, distribute up to 4+1 counters among any number of weapons you control. At the beginning of your end phase, remove all +1 counters from weapons you control. If a permanent is no longer a weapon during your end phase, +1 counters on it are not removed. And so that last little line of text really doesn't, I can't see it coming into play right now. Maybe it's just there for like future reference. I don't know of any card that would do that. Turn a weapon into a non-weapon during your turn. There's the orb that Prism has that turns auras into weapons, but it doesn't turn them back into auras unless there's something that's going to be released that does that. In which case you can kind of use this card to stock up +1 counters. And speaking of Prism, I think this card is going to be hilarious in Prism because you can make a bunch of aura tokens and then give them all +1 attack and then just attack with all of your aura tokens and do like a buttload of damage. So I think this card's going to be really good. Well, maybe not really good. Maybe it's more of a meme card, but people will definitely try it, right? People will definitely try to play this in a Prism deck where you make a bunch of auras and then try to attack with all of the auras. It might be good, man. It might be really good. It also might just be a meme card. So, meme card or really good? Maybe. Maybe a little bit of both. Maybe a little column A, a little bit of column B. I think it's also going to be pretty good in Bolton too. Pumping up all of your weapons. Pretty good. And it says distribute it 4+1 counters among any number of weapons you control, which means that it doesn't have to be all +1s. You can double it up, right? So you can just give one weapon +4, I think, and you can also give one weapon +2 and another weapon +2. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. The yellow is 3 counters and the blue is 2 counters. I actually think the yellow and the blue are pretty good here. Just doing 3 counters is pretty good, right? Especially if you're playing that Prism deck and you make the three auras, right? You play that card that lets you make 3 auras, and then you play this, and you just attack for 15 the next turn, because the auras have a base attack of 4, giving them all +1, attack for 15 the next turn. Seems good. Seems pretty good. Anyway, I think this card's going to be good. It might be a meme card, but I like it. Next up, we have Blinding Beam, a card that I think is going to be really good in Illusionist. Maybe not quite as good as some people think, but I think it's going to be pretty good regardless. So Blinding Beam is a light instant with 0 defense. This is a 1-cost card. This is also a red pitch card. And it says Blinding Beam costs 1 resource less to play if it targets a shadow card. So it's free if it targets a shadow card, which is pretty good. It also says target attacking or defending attack action card gains -3. So this is really good for obviously, weakening your opponent's attacks, but it's also really good for lowering the attack on defending cards, specifically for the Illusionist class, so it doesn't proc that Phantasm ability, right? So the Phantasm ability cares that if your opponent is blocking with an attack action card with 6 power or greater, and if they do have 6 power or greater, then the illusion is immediately like destroyed and the combat chain ends, and that's could be game breaking, right? That could be like a game ending mechanic. So the Blinding Beam weakens those cards if they're used, if they're defending, and allows your illusions to be powerful illusions. We're going to talk about some of that going forward too, because there is an illusion card that we're going to show off. So Is this good? Yeah, man, I think it's pretty good. I think it's also really versatile too. So you can use it kind of like defensively, you know, against their attack if it's attacking, but you can also use it aggressively if they're defending with an attack action card, you know, making it so that your illusions do not get, you know, blown up. So yeah, pretty good. The yellow pitch is a -2, and the blue pitch is a measly -1. Is the blue pitch worth it? Probably not. Is the yellow pitch worth it? Maybe. But I definitely like the red and the yellow here. So yeah, next card is Spears of Surreality. So this is what I was alluding to here. So the Spears of Surreality is an illusionist attack action with an attack of 5, 3 defense, and a cost of 1. It also has go again. So 1 cost, 5 attack, go again is super good. It's super good. However, it has that phantasm ability that I mentioned, right? So if it's defended by a non-illusionist attack action with 6 or more attack, destroy it and close the combat chain. And if it's destroyed, you don't get the go again, which is, you know, it's a big deal. So weakening your opponent's attacks if they're using them to defend a card like Spears of Surreality with a card like Blinding Beam is super good, right? You can see the synergy here. Also, I absolutely love the character depicted in the Spears of Surreality. She needs to be a hero. She really needs to be a hero. If she does, instantly one of my favorite heroes. Just look at her, man. She's so cool. I really like it. She's awesome, man. The long silver hair. Oh, she looks so cool. Anyway, the yellow pitch is 4 and the blue pitch is 1. And I think they're both still really good, right? Next card we have is, oh, this one's sweet. We have Valiant Dynamo. So Valiant Dynamo is a warrior equipment leg piece. It is a legendary, so this is going to be one of the main chase cards of the set. It has 1 defense, and it has an amazing ability. Also amazing artwork here. Really, really cool artwork. But it says, at the beginning of your end phase, if you have attacked 2 or more times with weapons this turn, you may remove a -1 counter from Valiant Dynamo. And it has Battle Worn, which means when you defend it, it just gets a -1 counter. So this means in a deck where you're attacking a lot of times with weapons, you can just keep defending with the Dynamo. This is super good, right? This is super good. Is this better than Refraction Bolters? You know, Refraction Bolters is a classic, also has 1 defense, also has Battle Worn, but you can destroy it as an attack reaction to give your weapon go again. And is the Dynamo better? Well, I think the Dynamo is going to be better if you're playing more of a mid-range and control-y style build, and the Bolters are going to be better if you're playing a more aggro build. But, you know, this is Flesh and Blood. You can just put them both in your deck, and you can see what your opponent's going to be playing, and you'd be like, okay, so I think I'm going to be playing a more, like, mid-rangey, you know, match against this person. Then I can just put in the Valiant Dynamo. Or you can be like, oh, I can really go ham and just crush them. Then you can put in the Bolters. So this card's good. I mean, not much else to say. If you're playing Warrior, regardless of what Warrior you're playing, you're going to put this in your deck. It's going to be in your list. Not much else to say. It's super good. You're playing Warrior, you want this card. Next up we have Gallantry Gold, another really good Warrior card. Warriors already have a lot of really good cards. I don't think they needed even more good cards. But here we go. We got more good Warrior cards. This is an equipment. It is a arm equipment, specifically Warrior. Both of these are both Warrior, by the way, not Light Warrior. So Dorinthia can use these. Kasai can use these. It says, action for a resource. Destroy Gallantry Gold. Your weapon attacks gain +1 this turn. Go again. It also has Battle Worn, too, which is super sweet. So this just pumps up all of your weapon attacks for the whole turn, which is really good. Yeah, that's it. It's not just like your next weapon attack. It's all of your weapon attacks for the turn gain +1. So if you're going for like a go wide strategy, attacking with like multiple weapons, here you go. Or if you're just kind of like pumping up your Dawn Blade and trying to whack at it a couple times, here you go. And once again, you got to ask yourself, is this better than the bracers, the Braveforge bracers, the legendary? Probably not, but maybe. I can see this being better in some builds and some matchups. Once again, you can just put them both in your deck and then just pick which one you want when you see what your opponent's going to be playing, what hero they're going to be playing. So yeah, this card's going to see play. It's really good. Next up we have, oh, this one's really sweet. This one is Spill Blood. This is a warrior action with 3 defense, 1 cost. This is a red pitch card. It's a majestic, so it only is, only has the 1 version. And it says, axes you control gain +2 and dominate until end of turn, go again. Yo, those axes, those 2 little like one-handed axes. Here you go. Here's your axe support. And guess what? It's really good support. This card's really good. Giving both of your axes like +2 and dominate is super sweet. And since they've already been pumped up, if you're playing Bolton, you can give them go again. Dude, like swinging in for 4, go again, and then your next one comes in for like 5 and you can give it go again. Oh man, it's super good. If you're playing with the axes, you put this in your deck. It's really, really good. Once again, did Warrior need this good of, more cards this good? Probably not, but here we are. Warrior's great. This card's great. Put it in your Warrior decks. Especially if you, only if you're using axes, but if you're using axes, put it in your deck. Next up, we have Dusk Path Pilgrimage. Hey, look, another really good Warrior card. This is a 1-cost Warrior action with a 3 defense. This is the red pitch version. It says, your next weapon attack this turn gains +3, and if it hits, you may attack an additional time with this weapon this turn. That's pretty good. That is basically Dorinthia's ability and Twinning Blade. And those are the only other 2 cards that do this. So this is a pretty unique card, right? Also, it's kind of a callback to the Nature's Path Pilgrimage, the Dusk Path Pilgrimage, because all of the citizens of Solana are fleeing because, well, darkness has come and souls are being claimed, basically. It's not a good time. It's not a good period of time to be a citizen of Solana, unless you like fighting and dying, maybe. But anyway, is this card good? Yeah, this card's good. Is it gonna see play? Yep, this card's gonna see play. Especially the red pitch version. The yellow is a +2 attack, and the blue is a +1. Will the yellow and the blue see play? Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. I think they're all really good. Especially, once again, unique effect. People put Twinning Blade in their deck, and it's just really sweet. I mean, this lets you attack multiple times, more than twice, with Dawn Blade if you're running Dorinthia. So, yeah. What else is there to say? Smack them a whole bunch. It's kind of like a go tall strategy, right? Pump up your Dawn Blade a lot, and then hit your opponent with it as many times as you want. Maybe pop your Courage Blade Hold and go to town. Really, really good. And then we have, Stubby Hammers. So Stubby Hammers, I'm gonna call them Lil Stubbs. Lil Stubbs was spoiled by a friend of the channel, Fab Foundry. And this card's really good. And it says, action, destroy Stubby Hammerers. Attack action cards with 3 or less base power gain +1 while attacking this turn. Go again. So this is specifically attack action cards. So it's not, weapon swings. But I think there's going to be like a tiny deck here. I'm going to call it like a Minnowism deck. We'll talk about Minnowism just a little bit later. But I think there's a deck here. Is it going to be a meme deck? Maybe. I mean, definitely, right? Is it going to be a good meme deck? Maybe. Actually, maybe. And I can see this thing play in like other heroes too, outside of being just a meme card in like a meme tiny deck. I mean, like it's already sweet in like Ninja, for example. So Ninja and like maybe Tiny Mechanologist or something. I don't know. I think this card's good, man. I think it's good, and I think it's gonna see play. Yeah, not much else to say. And every time you like see a card that's printed that has a low base attack with a good effect, you're like, yo, could this be in my Lil Stubbs deck? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Next up, we have Outmuscle. This card was spoiled by friends of the channel Radio Reflex with Ian and Alan, both excellent gentlemen, and I think this card made a ton of sense for them to spoil. They're huge fans of wrestling, man. They're huge fans of wrestling, and they're literally arm wrestling here. So what does this card do? It's a 3-cost, 6 attack, generic attack action with a 2 defense, and it says, while Outmuscle isn't defended by a card with equal or greater attack, it has Go Again. So against some decks, this card's going to always have Go Again. And a 3-cost, 6 attack with Go Again is pretty good, right? That's pretty good. Is this going to see play in Constructed? Honestly, probably not. Maybe in Brute, but probably not. Probably not, to be honest. Is it going to see play in Limited? Yeah, this card is sweet in Limited. Like, it's going to probably have Go Again like half the time or more. So it's really good. It's a really, really good Limited card. So, yeah, not much else to say. Probably not going to see a ton of Constructed play, but can definitely see a lot of Limited play. And then the yellow pitch is 5, and then the blue pitch is 4 attack. Next up we have, oh my god, this is one of the most beautiful art pieces in the entire game. I love it. I absolutely love it. I want a signed print of this art. It is so good. This is Rise Above. So it's a 2-cost card. It's a generic defense reaction. We haven't seen a lot of defense reactions this set. With a defense of 4, this is the red pitch version. The yellow has a defense of 3, and the blue has a defense of 2. I think the red pitch is where you want to be. And it says, you may put a card from your hand on top of your deck rather than pay Rise Above's cost, which is amazing in Ranger. This card is going to be so good in Azalea, because on your opponent's turn, if they're attacking you with something big, you can play Rise Above and then put one of those awesome arrows you have on top of your deck, and then on your turn you can use Azalea's ability to slam it into your arsenal with Dominate. Super good. This is just, it's super good, right? This is going to see play in like every Ranger deck, right? That's where I'm going here. Every Ranger deck, going to play Rise Above in it. It's just going to be amazing. Because it does a lot of the things you want for Ranger, right? It defends really well, because Ranger's really bad at defending, and also sets up awesome Dominate arrow turns. You know, with your Red in the Ledgers and your Remorselesses and all of the good stuff. So, I think this card's really good. Is it good outside of Ranger and Azalea? Maybe. Maybe in Wizard, actually. Maybe in Wizard, setting a card up, putting it on top of your deck, and setting up like a really sweet Wizard turn. I can see that. Yeah. Outside of those 2 classes, maybe not so much, but I still think it's I think it's sweet. Really sweet. Maybe even the yellow pitch, honestly. Getting that 3 defense. 3 defense is good enough, right? I don't know. It's really good. It's really good. Blue? Nah, dude. Nah. Next up we have, okay, here we go. Here we have like the core of the Minnowism deck with Belittle. So this is a 1-cost, 3 attack, generic attack action with 2 defense. It also has Go Again. So 1 cost, 3 attack, Go Again. That's pretty good. It says, as an additional cost to play Belittle, you may reveal an attack action card with 3 or less base attack from your hand. If you do, search your deck for a card named Minnowism, reveal it, and put it in your hand. Then shuffle your deck. So you can just reveal a card, and then just go tutor up another card. That's really good. This card also has Go Again. So, at the very baseline there, you can just go get the Minnowism and then pitch it to play something else in your hand. You know, presumably the card that you revealed. But I think Minnowism itself is pretty good. So, I think it's going to be pretty good. And we have the yellow coming in for 2 attack, and then the blue coming in for a measly 1 attack. Once again, is this going to be a meme card? I don't know. We'll talk about it a little more when we get to Minnowism. Next up we have Brandish. So this is a 1-cost, 3 attack card with Go Again with 2 defense. It says, if Brandish hits, your next weapon attack this turn gains +1. So once again, we have another card with base attack 3 or lower. So this is going to go in your little Stubbs deck, right? Your little meme Minnowism deck. You can put your Brandish in here. And once again, you know, 1 cost, 3 attack, Go Again. It's not bad, right? It's not bad. It also has a pretty good effect too. If it hits, you can pump up your next weapon attack. Once again, is this going to see play? You know, it's going to be good in limited, right? Is it going to be good outside of limited? Maybe. Maybe if you make this kind of like go small deck, right? You have your go tall, you have your go wide. Now we have your go small. Is that better name than Minnowism deck or Lil Stubbs? I do like go small. We're going to call it go small. Your go small deck. And then of course the yellow is 2 and the blue is 1. Make that a thing, everyone. Your go small deck. And then finally we have Minnowism itself. So what is Minnowism? It's a 0-cost generic action with 2 defense. It says the next attack action card with 3 or less base attack you play this turn gains +3 Go Again. That's actually really cool, right? So you can just give any of these cards +3, right? So if you play Belittle, you play Minnowism into Belittle. It has 6 attack. You reveal another card in your hand with cost 3 or less to go get another Minnowism. Play the Minnowism, because this card has Go Again. Play the Minnowism, and then play, you know, your Brandish. So your Brandish is coming in for 6. And it also has Go Again. And if you have more resources left over, you can whack them with your weapon. I can see this being a thing, man. Outside of being a meme, I can see Go Small being a thing. People already love this dwarf guy. It's gonna be a thing, right? It's gonna be a thing. I mean, even if it's just a meme, it's gonna be a thing. Then we have the yellow coming in at +2 and the blue coming in at +1. And we're back to Raiden Duskbane. That was kind of a longer video there. We had a lot of cards to talk about. Let me know what you think of these cards in the comments down below. Is the Go Small deck gonna be a thing? Is Raiden really good? I think it's pretty good. And yeah, let me know what you think about the other cards. Is that the Rise Above? We have Sink Below. Now we have Rise Above. I didn't mention that too, but that's one of the things I thought about. This is kind of like the companion to Sink Below, which I think is really cool, man. I think it's really cool. We're gonna end off with this card here, just on here. It's so beautiful, man. I want an animated version of this. Give me an animated version of Rise Above. But in any case, if you liked the video, then go ahead, leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know, check out some of my other videos on Flesh and Blood, and maybe check out my Patreon, all the kind of stuff. And you know what? Regardless of what you do, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time for some more Flesh and Blood content. Have a good one, all, and I'll see you later.